Okay, so one of the scenarios for Clone Commander is that you've got thousands of emails in your system, and you've just copied your production environment down to UAT or a dev environment, and your automated batch job that sends out all your receipts for payments has now run and sent out old or out of date payment emails to your entire client list. This is sort of a common scenario that people, if you've been working with finance and operations for a while, this is something that can happen along with other scenarios like, you want to disable your users when you do your restore from production to UAT, or maybe you have some integrations running that have some parameters in there and you want to clear those out to make sure that the integrations don't run against your production environment. This is where Ryse Clone Commander can help you. The first step is to define your environments. You come in and define your environments by URL. You set which one is your production environment because you don't want this to obviously run in production. Essentially, the application is disabled in production, so you don't by mistake delete or change your real production data by accident. Once you've set up your environments, you can come into the configuration screen and set up as many configurations as you like. A configuration is essentially a set of steps that you can run on your data to clean it up or to change it or obfuscate some information, some sensitive information that shouldn't be in your lower environments. You do that by defining some steps. Inside of this configuration here, I'm actually cleaning out the description and the email address or the phone numbers within the electronic email address table. You can see that I've defined a few here against the table. That's going to be an update action against the location field. I've set some ordering in these two steps. On the step itself, you can set some processing logic here. You can either use a function. In this case, I'm using a function and I'm randomizing the email address so I don't end up with real people's emails and them getting emails by accident. But there's a lot of different reasons why you could do this. As I said, you can use it for integrations or some other type of scenario where you want to clean up and clear out the destination system's URL. You can use, if you're using randomize, you can set the length. You can set to use characters and numbers, just numbers if you want to randomize something like a phone number, for example, or even like if you want to change people's statement balance or some other type of sensitive financial information. You could also, you can just assign a value from another field within the same table. You can concatenate. You can basically set a column and then set a prefix and a suffix. You can substitute values from the original columns within the table. Maybe you do a find and replace essentially. And you can also randomize things like I spoke about a second ago. You can also decide if you want to call the modified field or the update method on the table when it gets updated. And then when you're ready to go, you just need to come in and first of all, you can validate. So this actually does a dry run. So it executes the updates to the table without committing the transaction, and then rolls it back. So you get some information on whether the steps would actually succeed. So obviously you're building this in your dev environment. Once you've validated it and it's running, and you can go into the logs and track what's ran and when. You can then go and copy this information back up into your production environment. Obviously, it'll never run there. You don't want it to run there, but you do need the configuration in your production environment. And then when you restore your production environment to your lower environment, like UAT or dev, you can either manually execute the steps or have them run automatically when the system starts. And then that'll go up, clean all your data out, hide all that highly sensitive information, or reset all your email addresses, and then Bob's your uncle. You don't have that problem that you had in the beginning.